Hi, everybody. My name is Mark Haran. I'd like to welcome all of you back to the That's Awesome podcast. If you haven't tuned in before, this is a newly created podcast hosted by Iowa State University's Department of Apparel, Events, and Hospitality Management. And in this podcast, we like to highlight some of the elements of our department, why we think we're awesome, as well as industry members. And just kind of combine all of the elements and characteristics of our department and share it with you guys. So I'm the host, Mark Haran, a junior in marketing at Iowa State, and I'd like to welcome you back to today's episode number 2 with our guest Kayla Cameron. Kayla, thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
So Kayla is a junior at Iowa State University, studying apparel merchandising and design in Awesome, with a minor in entrepreneurship from Iowa State University's Ivy College of Business. She is also the owner and founder of Mangoes, which is a small clothing boutique for young women, and she's responsible in all areas of her business, including customer service, floor plan, advertising, social media, pricing, buying. So her love for fashion and style, along with her entrepreneurial spirit, has led her to grow her business exponentially. And as a department, we're extremely proud of Kayla and her accomplishments. And that's why we're very excited to have her on the show today. So Kayla, once again, thank you for joining with us.
Thank you.
So let me get right into it. How has this semester been for you, especially, but also thus far as a junior at Iowa State? How has your experience with Iowa State University and the Awesome department as a whole been thus far?
So this semester, all my classes are online, which has been a little bit difficult considering I am in a more creative major. So with that in mind, it has been a little more difficult, but overall, I'd say the department in Iowa State has done a great job kind of accommodating what every student's comfortable with. Mm-hmm. As for all the other years, I've been able to make some really great connections with not only friends and people I've met, but the staff really do care about the students, and they're just willing to make curriculum relevant to all students, focus class on what we actually want to learn. So I'd say overall I've had a really positive experience so far.
Sure. And maybe this is just me going off on a whim here, but what would you say your favorite classes have been thus far, especially when, applying that knowledge to what we'll get into a little bit later about your business and growing your business?
Yeah, so I really, really enjoyed AMD 210, which is a Photoshop class. I was also a TA for that class, but I just think it's really relevant to anything you're doing. I've used a lot of those skills in just designing posters, campaigns, my social media. I found that to be really helpful. Mm-hmm. And then also I've just taken a lot of classes about store setup. I don't know their exact names, but store layout and brand image have been really, really important to me and something I care a lot about, which I'll get into later as well.
Sure. So like you were saying, the Awesome department, you said that the staff really care about you. They go the extra mile in making sure that students understand the material, as well as how they can apply that in real world practices. So how has Iowa State and the department itself fostered your creativity and passion for fashion, styling, entrepreneurship?
Yeah, so I've been able to meet one-on-one with Dr. Sanders, which has been really helpful because every week she kind of gives me new motives and new things to work towards. That kind of really helps me think outside of the box of what I would just think, because as a solo person running a business, it's kind of hard to look at what I'm not looking at, if that makes sense, seeing what I'm missing. So she kind of helps me break it down, look at what I can improve on more, social media maybe, or she really helped me improve my website. Also, I've had professors, like just recently, I started a class and I was talking about mangoes in one of my introductions, and she reached out and was like, if there's anything we can do to change this curriculum to get it to something that will help you, then I'm all for it. Just let me know like what you think we can change so it applies to your business. And also, I really love this. It doesn't really have to do with like the teachers, but well, it kind of does. But all of the classes have like team learning. A lot of them do. And I think that that's very important. And I know a lot of people don't love like teamwork or team activities, but in the fashion industry, like everything's about teams. Like
Yeah.
I have people that work with me all the time. I have ambassadors that I meet with bi-weekly. I just have people I'm constantly working with. And I just really think it's important to bounce off ideas, and that's how ideas grow. And so in the classroom, by having these team-based classes, you're just able to really learn how to connect with people, how to be respectful, how to bounce ideas off of each other, and to just really grow an initial idea into something really awesome.
Sure. I couldn't have said that better myself. That's a great way of explaining it. So maybe a little context too. How did your professional hopes and goals and dreams of, maybe not at first running a business, but pursuing majors in fashion, styling, entrepreneurship, how did that come about?
So I have been sewing since like middle school, like so long ago, and I loved that side of fashion. I took illustration classes at places like Parsons. I would just like constantly sew something up in my room and like run to my neighbors and try to sell it. Or I made my friends like prom dresses. And then I kind of just end of senior year of high school, I was just really lost. Like I didn't know where I wanted to go to school. I wasn't even supposed to come to Iowa State. I like decided to come here like 2 days before move-in. I just called and like worked things out, but I was just so lost. Like I had no idea what I wanted to major in, and I didn't even really realize fashion and this major was an option. So my mom had kind of came to me and she had the idea of me opening this store. Because we've been going up to a summer town called Pentwater, Michigan, like my entire life, every single summer. And she just thought it was like a really low risk kind of area to start in. And like right away, I knew that's what I loved. And then throughout that summer, I was like, I need to switch schools. Like I need to find somewhere that can really help me with this and that I can learn more about it. So that's kind of how I picked Iowa State and how that kind of all fell into place for me.
Sure. Yeah. What would you say? So, talk a little bit. I'd like to know a little bit more about your business, Mangoes itself. So, I mentioned in the beginning that Mangoes is a clothing boutique for you specify for young women, correct?
Yes.
So yeah. So, tell us a little bit about Mangoes. What is Mangoes?
Yeah, so as soon as I like had this idea to open this boutique, I knew like there's nowhere for me to shop with a personal experience. Like I love to like go into a store and like get help and kind of build a relationship with the people who work there and kind of feel like they actually want to help me shop and they're not just trying to like sell something to me or that they don't care about the brand. And I felt like every single boutique was for like a woman in her 30s or something and not for anyone my age. So I wanted to create an affordable boutique, like a place where I could actually shop. So everything's under $50, or I try to keep it that way. But aside from that, I really wanted to build this experience. So when you walk into my store, it's like a bright orange wall behind the cash wrap. I have a neon sign that says Mangoes. Everything else is just bright white. I have beach cabanas as changing rooms. I have surfboard decorations, plants everywhere, and like fun music. I just really want a person to want to be in my store, and I want it to be a destination more than just a place to shop.
Sure. And I think that's rare nowadays too. When personally, when I go to local businesses or clothing boutiques or something like that, in the few times that I actually do, it seems forced. It seems like they're putting on the music to accommodate to the customers and stuff like that. But when you walk in, I feel like it's just right up there, right? Like right at the front of your mind. You're like, it seems like they're forcing it upon me, like, so you wanted to make an experience, correct?
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't want to just, obviously I want everyone to like feel beautiful in what they buy and
Mm-hmm.
love everything that they get. But I'm not trying to just be there so that you spend money. Like I want you to genuinely really like remember, oh, I had a great time at Mango's with my friends, like, and it becomes this like really great experience and memory in your mind. And hopefully you'll end up finding something that you love and that made you feel great. But if not, that's okay. Like if you had fun, that's what's really important to me, because I feel like that's just so lost. Like everything's just so, it sounds like cheesy and everyone always says it, but so digital or so impersonal nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
And I just really want to provide that personal aspect to people.
Sure. And I think that's also one of the great things about our department as a whole. We try to keep, or we do keep, the communication between students and their curriculum. Um, we want them to feel like they're in our programs and in our majors to make an impact on people, and not just to go through the motions and get a degree. So as a department, you exemplify what most students strive to be, or what they want to become in their majors. They want to give people an experience. They want to help people. So I think it's a very inspiring story. So
Thank you.
thank you for sharing. What do you hope for the future of Mangoes?
Yeah, so right now I'm trying to make, I don't know if I mentioned this before, but my store is only open from like mid-June to mid-August, so when I'm not in school. So I want to expand to an online kind of area. So I just opened my store online kind of at the beginning of quarantine, so like April-ish. And for right now, I'm really focusing on growing my online presence on social media and just through my website. So that's kind of my short-term goal, but my long-term goal, I more want to like expand my actual store locations. I really think that the beach town is good for me just because it goes with like my fun, colorful vibe, or like college towns, because I've done pop-up shops various places and they have done pretty well as well in
Mhm.
college towns.
Your business currently, it's located in, you said, Pentwater, Michigan?
Yes. So it's just
Okay.
a tiny little beach town. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right on Lake Michigan.
Sure. Um, and why that beach vibe? How did that beach vibe come about?
So I just feel like my personal style is just like, I have always loved the beach, and I just felt like that casual kind of fun style has been like everywhere on social media, like colorful type of things, like that just really on trend, and also it just fits my personal brand. So
Mm-hmm.
I felt like I could relate to it more. And then also the initial location was Pentwater, Michigan, and that vibe of the town is very bright and fun and beachy. So I kind of just took all of those things and combined them, and it made Mangoes.
Sure, sure. Um, and like you said, for some of the items or projects that you're currently working on, um, do you have a website now?
Yes, I do. It's mangosboutique.com.
Okay, and then for anybody listening, what are your social media that they can search you up on?
Yeah, so basically everything is just at Mango's Boutique. I'm
Okay.
the most active on Instagram. I do like a lot of try-ons of different items, deals, all types of stuff on there. So yeah, if
Hmm.
anyone's interested, it's just at Mango's Boutique.
Sure. Uh, I'd like to ask also, and it's very common nowadays for a lot of people to maybe start their own online presence, especially in the apparel and clothing industry. Um, do you think the theme of your business is one of the most important aspects that sets you apart, or are you trying these new digital avenues to try to rebrand or elevate your business?
So I think that my experience and my brand really does set me apart.
Hmm.
And kind of getting that out online is difficult. I mean, as everyone knows, it's just
Sure.
like so much and so much competition. But I do believe that like my price point and everything does make me stand out and people are interested. It's just how they find me is.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Another element or another thing that I'd like to ask, you are kind of the, the you do everything. I mean, you do the social media and the pricing and the buying and advertising and in-store customer service and floor plans and everything. Is this what you want to do, or do you want to bring on a team?
So, I mean, the goal would be one day to bring on a team because it does get to be a lot. And
Sure.
some things, like, I mean, everyone has their strengths. Like, some things are just not, like, for me or, like, my favorite things to do. But I do enjoy, like, seeing all my hard work. And, like, right now, I'm like, I've done all of this, which is really kind of satisfying to me. But it is a lot to do, especially with being a full-time student and everything.
Mhm.
So I hope one day to have a team, but right now I'm kind of happy like learning everything. And also I feel like this experience of me learning everything will help me manage people in the future because I'll be able to put myself in their shoes and
Mhm.
see how like difficult or time consuming or tedious certain tasks can be, like tagging items. Like I don't think anyone would realize how long that takes.
Mhm.
But when I am about to open up for the summer, I tag everything myself and put everything in the system. And like that alone takes me like days.
Yeah.
So there's just certain things that just take so long that I would definitely love help with, but right now I don't think is the time that I'd be able to do that.
Hmm. And as a student, I think that you have the right mindset about it. Closing your business, unless it's like the summer months when you pursue it. I think that's a very smart idea. A lot of people will uh, maybe like open their business and feel obligated to, do it constantly. And I feel like that oftentimes that leads to, burnout or lack of creativity and stuff like that. So I think it's very, very smart of you business wise to do something like that and try to capitalize it in the summer months, especially just weather wise as well. It kind of fits your theme as well. So
Yeah. Yeah. So that's been really great for me. And also like the website, like having that to do on the side, like with school is much more manageable than being
absolutely.
open. So
Mhm. Yeah, I agree. Uh, to wrap things up here, do you have any advice for students in general who are looking to go down the same path as you? Not necessarily maybe apparel or clothing, but opening a small business or taking that leap of faith. Is there any advice that you'd give to that student? Maybe whatever year they're in, maybe they're a little lost or they don't know what to do. Um, Tell us, what would you give them as
yeah.
advice?
So I would say honestly to just go for it.
Hmm.
Like I went for it and I didn't really have a plan or anything, and I would probably plan a little bit more now. I really just had no idea what I was doing, but I also feel like there's no time like the present.
Hmm.
Like especially at this age, like yeah, money's hard and that type of thing, but right now it's like all we have to worry about is ourselves. So I feel like if you're going to take that leap of faith and try to open this business or do whatever you're passionate about, then now's the time. Because like honestly, what are you waiting for? I feel like success just really means like happiness within yourself. So no matter how much money you make or anything, I just feel like if you're doing what you love, money will come, and not to worry about it, but you'll just be passionate and you'll put forth like your best effort, and you'll be doing something that you actually love to do every single day, and it won't even feel like that hard of work because you just love it so much. So I would say if you feel lost and you just have an idea, to just even look into it. Like you don't even have to do it right away, but I mean, just look into it, see the steps you have to take, and it won't look as scary as it sounds. Like it sounds terrifying, but once you do it, I'm sure you'll be happy you did.
Sure. Thank you. That's very great advice. Um, And once again, could you share with us your website and social medias? So you're most active on Instagram.
Yes, which is just at Mangoes Boutique. And then my website is mangosboutique.com.
Perfect. Kayla, you were a wonderful guest, and your story is honestly inspiring to me as, you know, a marketing major, because I want to pursue something. I want to get behind a business where, you know, the owners and all of its employees truly care about, you know, their business and their brand. I think that's important in today's day and age. So your story is inspiring to me and everybody else listening. So thank you for coming onto the show today.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Yes. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. For more information, you can head over to awesome.iastate.edu and make sure to follow us on social media, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We're all over the place. Kayla, once again, thank you for coming on, and we'll see you in the next episode.